Tweed. Imagine, if you will, a version of yourself with fewer responsibilities. Maybe it's a younger you, or a version of you where you took fewer opportunities, fewer risks. Suppose that version of yourself was presented with a choice to have something you need taken away, in exchange for something you want. They would probably take that switch because they don't know better. Now, as I grow older, this becomes less of a possible choice for me, and that kind of upsets me. So I'm recording this right after an event that kind of upset me. I like to create films. I'm pretty sure that's pretty self-explanatory from the other types of content you see on this channel. You know that I enjoy working with a camera and working with video editing. I try to implement it as much as I can in my daily life. And it sort of became epitomized, if you will, last year when I entered a film festival at my university, and I actually won first place. This was following a previous film festival where my film got shot down as terrible, and the judges told me, you need to do this, this, and this to improve your film. And I took that advice and ran with it, and as I mentioned, the next year I won, and I was very happy with that. And it created this sort of inherent expectation in me to always be up to that standard. And that's very dangerous for me. Perfectionism is not the guiding light we think it is. Oftentimes, in fact, it's more of something that can shut you down than move you forward. I really want to focus on stuff that I like to create, but school has dogged me down. That's what I was referring to in the very beginning. Something that is more on the, I'm going to say, the scale of want to need. I don't think want and need are dichotomies. It is a dichotomy, rather. Something that's more on the end of to need on the scale was more prioritized than want, and that's almost unnerving to me because I don't really care that much about my classes. I don't really care about. It's because I'm not just a terrible student. It's because the classes this year are really stupid. I've got like an art appreciation class, which is basically a lecture of, let's all stare at this one piece of art and talk about how the lamppost represents a division in French, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't care. Whereas, in the meantime, if I'm going to be entering a film festival and I want to edit films in my future, or if I want to just do video editing in my future, that's more beneficial than that class. And I'm paying tuition for that class. It's kind of ties into the should you stay or leave school. That's really frustrating for me. Anyway, at the same time, school is something, or at least the result of school, the diploma, or the degree, or whatever it's called, I forget what it's called when it's university, is something that's going to be more important to me in the long run. So I focused more primarily on that, and as a result, I found myself too stressed to actually participate in the film festival this year, and so I dropped out. Now, even the judges of the film festival were, like, emailing me saying, hey, are you gonna submit something this year? We're really looking forward to it. And that sort of killed me, if that makes sense. It really hurt to know that, people were, like, looking up to this sort of thing. And even though I wanted to do it, I felt too dogged down by other obligations to feel like I could perform at top level. It wasn't even I didn't find the time to create something. No, it was I didn't feel like I could do enough job. Which I hate. I could have done it, but I knew that I would be hesitant. I knew that I would be less than 100% in doing these sorts of things. And that's sort of what I want to tackle in this video. I'm sure I'm already like halfway through this video, but whatever. The main point of this is that I'm so hesitant to be anything other than perfect that I actually ruin my own content. I ruin opportunities. I see it all the time in channels like this. I think I mentioned on these videos, or at least on the stream before, that before streaming I used to be the editor and one of the Let's Players in a team of Let's Players. And I botched that project hard. We called it Power Up Platoon. I think it's still on YouTube. It's terrible, don't look at it. And I made the horrible mistake of suggesting it to my friends as sort of like a buddy-buddy sort of thing, and then I took the project so painfully seriously because I didn't want to put anything other than my entire best on YouTube. And as a result, even though it was a terrible little Let's Play that was like 10 minutes a day of content that wasn't even like edited down in terms of the audio, I like put so much polish into the layout, into the like methods of which like we did things, the graphics and everything like that. Like I put 110% effort into it, and I created this huge schedule for it, and like I had like notes on how people could improve their comedy when they were in videos, because I wanted everyone to be perfect for this one thing. And ultimately it doomed the project because I took it too seriously. I was way too serious in trying to create the perfect Let's Play. There's so many issues in trying to create the perfect Let's Play in 2016, 2017 as it is, but like the fact that I was taking this project so very seriously and trying to make it perfect ruined that opportunity for me. And it's very much a possibility that the channel would have been more successful had I not cared about it as much. And that's very interesting. My perfectionism actually churned out less content, so less people were seeing it. And you think like, oh, quality over quantity. There's a line. You can't always say quality before quantity when the quantity of what you're creating cannot justify the quality, if that makes sense. If you're creating one amazing god-tier Let's Play a year, who cares? Nobody's gonna be checking out your channel, you know? And to an extent, I have this problem. Not to the one a year extent, obviously, but I absolutely had this problem. I've cancelled a lot of videos for this very channel, because I reviewed them afterwards and thought, no, this is not my best. And I don't think anyone views them with as critical an eye of myself. I don't want to say, I'm my own worst critic, because then it, like, undermines other critics. I hate that phrase, because people always say, I'm my own worst critic, and they still go forward with their, like, film ideas. Usually it's film majors at my school who say, I'm my own worst critic, and then they give me their script and they say, I'm really proud of this one, and I say, okay, that's fascinating, it sucks. Usually then they hate me and then they don't talk to me anymore. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm a very hypercritical guy. I don't try to like say that people are stupid, but I'm totally cool with saying things like ideas are stupid. I'm just as bitter about everyone, and not everyone is accepting of that. Which is another video entirely, which I find fascinating, which I'll talk about soon, I guess, maybe. Either way. Right, I'm not necessarily my own worst critic, because other people could think that my work absolutely sucks and I never should have posted it in the first place. Totally valid. But I'm a huge critic of myself, and my perfectionism ultimately ruins me in a lot of instances. I've written things before. I want to become an author in the future. I've written things before that I've just scrapped, because I thought, is this really the best I can do? I've made videos before that I've scrapped. Sometimes I feel terrible after a stream if I haven't gotten followers, because I thought, I could have gotten those followers if I was funnier, or something like that. I just constantly dog myself down, and not even dog myself down, like insult myself, really. And a lot of people will see that as like, oh, that's dangerous, you need to stop that. I'm not sure if I need to stop that, but I need to be more mindful of it, definitely. And I'm not sure if a lot of people can, relate to this, but it's very interesting to watch opportunities pass me by due to the fact that I'm such a damn perfectionist. Because this is a university film festival I'm talking about here. Last year the submissions were okay at best, and the reason that I won, I imagine, is because I poured my heart and soul into it, but also because I'm an experienced video editor, among, you know, one or two experienced video editors, and a lot of people who are just straight up phoning it in. I've even got a friend at this year who's, who is just phoning it in for this year's film festival. They just submitted a YouTube video they made in like an hour. Just for shits and giggles. And I'm terrible at shits and giggles. I'm so very terrible at shits and giggles. I cannot do it to save my life. I can't just phone something in. Another great example, an essay at school. I have an inability to phone in that essay. I need to work hard on it. I would rather not submit a homework assignment than to half-ass it. And as a result, my marks suffer. My average is in the 50s right now in school. I'm willing to believe I'm not smart, but am I that dumb that I'm constantly almost failing class? I don't think so. I've got enough self-awareness to realize, no, I'm not stupid. Not to mention, even if you get 50s, you're not necessarily stupid. It's just that you don't understand, the school curriculum, or maybe the school curriculum doesn't even understand you. But anyway, that's detracting from my point. My grades suffer because of my perfectionism. My opportunities tank because of my perfectionism. I'm sure I'm actually not as far along in life right now as I could be, because I never, submitted an application because I thought, oh, this application isn't good enough. My demo reel for voice acting, I only completed it this year, and I haven't even, sent it off anywhere, because I'm too scared of people thinking, oh, he's not as good as he could be. I have a chronic fear of disappointment, other people being disappointed in me. It's really hard to work with, and it's kind of the source of my perfectionism. And people see perfectionist as a trait, a neutral trait, maybe even a good trait. Oh, Michelangelo was a perfectionist, Picasso was a perfectionist, blah 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 blah. It's not a good trait to have. That's my solid opinion on this. It's actually a terrible trait to have when you're a content creator. True, what you do churn out is marginally better, but talent ultimately is what creates. Everyone pictures that their perfectionism is what creates their craft. No, perfectionism does not create. If anything, perfectionism comes closer to destroying. And it's something that ultimately I have to live with, which sucks. It sucks a lot, because a lot of my stuff is very polished, and even then I'm thinking, oh, this one part wasn't funny, why did I include it? Every dislike on a video makes me go, alright, what did they not like? I bet they didn't like this part. And I'm just very... It's not that I don't take criticism well, I will run with criticism, but I take criticism personally, is a better phrase. So if you tell me, this story sucks, rewrite it, I'll be like, yep, no problem. And about an hour later in my room, I'll go, ah, God. If that makes sense. In my opinion, you cannot be a perfectionist. You cannot be a perfectionist and also create content on the fly in a regular rhythm that you're happy with. Most likely that rhythm will be disrupted by something that you find bad. Even this type of content is very difficult for me, and that's ultimately why I'm doing this type of video. I want to write perfectionism out of my life. I want to find within me the reason for which it has sprung up and provide some sort of comfort in place of it, if that makes sense. I want to be okay with something that's not necessarily my best. When I don't have a script for this type of content, maybe I could have said something that would have better encapsulated perfectionism and what it means to me. But I don't want that, because that would be pointless. That would be stupid. That would be kind of ironic, in fact. I don't want to be perfect in these videos. That's a huge leap for me with my other types of content. Tweed's Guide. You want to know why it comes out every 3 months? It's because I cannot conceptualize making it anything other than my absolute best. Even in the Thomas is Alone video, I just think to myself, man, game theory has more tweens than me. I bet that captures visual attention more easily. And I'm in school. I can't really commit myself full-time to my videos and my crazy-ass tweens and stuff like that. I don't have a team because I can't pay them, and I would feel bad asking people to do it for free, even though 1 or 2 people, classmates, have offered. I just want to remove the perfectionism from my life, because I think it will improve me. I hope it will improve me. I'm always on a journey of self-improvement, and along the way, I want to make sure I understand what works and what doesn't. Because if you're on a journey of self-improvement, and you don't understand what works, you're in trouble. Self-awareness is needed for self-improvement. And right now, I am very aware, creepily aware to the fact that perfectionism is ultimately my ruin.
But hey, that's just my opinion, bro! Hey there! Thanks for listening throughout this entire video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some other videos at the side there. Hit the little me in the circle on screen to subscribe to me. Really helps when you do. And check me out on Twitch sometime if you ever want to say hi. Do one of those things, I'll wait.